The breath flows in, gentle and sure, carrying quiet hope with every particle of air. A calm voice invites this shared moment. Welcome. Feel the softness of your chest rising. Notice that life supports this breath without any demand for proof. In this space, a listener rests, perhaps carrying a tender ache, a sense that fault has settled like dust upon the heart. The voice continues, steady yet light. Right now, nothing is asked except presence. Here, kindness for the self is possible. When thoughts turn harsh, offer one thought of care instead. The words move slowly, leaving small pauses so the mind can settle. It is all right to feel uncertain, the voice assures. It is all right to set down judgment even for a moment and allow warmth to pool inside. A subtle rhythm builds, much like waves touching shore. The invitation to release tension feels safe, almost effortless, because the tone is rooted in unconditional regard. There is no scolding, no pushing, only a gentle opening to new possibility. Listeners are reminded that self-criticism may have been learned long ago. It can be unlearned with patience. The voice suggests placing a hand over the heart, feeling the natural beat, whispering softly, I am willing to be gentle with myself today. This single sentence floats like a feather on still water. Silence follows, giving space for the words to sink deep. Another breath, and an image forms of a tender seed in dark soil, waiting for warmth. Within you, the guide says, lives a seed of self-trust. Each kind thought is sunlight. Each forgiving breath is rain. The body loosens, shoulders uncoil. Listeners feel themselves welcomed exactly as they are, free from the heavy label of blame. A sense of belonging begins to grow, belonging first to their own inner kindness. Guilt that once felt glued to the skin starts to soften, like wax warmed by a gentle flame. You are safe here, the voice repeats with quiet conviction. Safe to listen, safe to breathe, safe to open. The conversation turns toward understanding the shape of blame itself. Blame, the voice explains, is not a permanent mark. It is a thought pattern, a story replayed in the inner theater. Often that story began long before today, taught by worried caretakers, hardened by fear, repeated by habit until it felt like truth. Think of blame as a stone, the guide suggests, one that might have been handed to you in childhood or early life. You may have carried it so long that its weight seems normal. Yet stone, though solid, is not fused to the hand. It can be placed down. The voice encourages listeners to picture fingers unclenching, letting the stone rest on soft earth. Muscles in the jaw release. Notice how blame affects the body. The guide continues. Perhaps the stomach tightens, the throat feels narrow, the brow creases. By bringing kind attention to these signals, a gentle separation begins between the self and the pattern. The listener learns that a thought can be watched without merging with it, like clouds passing across wide sky. In this viewing, the body is treated as friend and messenger. When the shoulders lift toward the ears, says the voice, they are simply asking for relief. A slow breath out provides it. There is no rush, no demand to push feelings away. Rather, there is space to watch them, like leaves floating downstream. The guide notes that blame often pretends to offer control. If I scold myself enough, maybe I will never make a mistake again. Yet real control does not arise from shame. It arises from choice, guided by love. Love speaks softly and listens deeply. A warm voice invites listeners to practice one sentence of self-compassion. It is safe to learn from my past and still respect myself today. Slowly, that sentence is repeated, allowing the nervous system to absorb each word as nourishment. Attention then shifts to the cost of holding on. Carrying blame, the voice observes, is like wearing a coat woven from thistles. Each move scratches the skin, even when there is no danger around. Stress hormones surge, asking the heart to race, the breath to shorten, the immune system to guard. Energy that might have gone toward creativity or play drains into worry. Listeners are asked to pause and scan the body from crown to toes, noticing any spot that feels heavy or numb. There is no judgment, only curiosity and care. Wherever tightness appears, the guide says, place a warm palm, breathe into that space, and offer silent kindness. Scientific names are not needed. Simple awareness is enough. As the body settles, the voice explains that blame can dim creativity by locking attention on what went wrong instead of what could grow. Harmony becomes possible when energy flows freely again. The guide offers a gentle comparison. A garden that has been overgrown with weeds cannot bloom. Once weeds are cleared with patient hands, light reaches the soil. The same is true inside. Worry about past faults crowds mental space, leaving little room for new ideas. Listeners hear a quiet reminder. The goal is not to force thoughts to be perfect, but to make room for healthier ones. Small acts such as mindful breathing, stretching, or stepping outside for fresh air begin to shift inner chemistry. Each act whispers, life supports me as I choose to support myself. The voice notes that even physical pain can ease when inner blame softens because tension releases its grip. One listener might sense the jaw unclench. Another may feel warmth spread across the chest. This gentle bodily feedback becomes proof that change is real and happening now. The guide offers a short, reassuring phrase. I honor my body by letting go of harsh stories. Repeating that phrase, the mind begins to file blame under no longer needed. Space opens within. Fresh possibilities drift in, waiting like morning light behind curtains. The voice invites one more breath, deep and slow, allowing gratitude for even the smallest relief. No milestone is too small. Each step is celebrated. Gently, the guide circles back, reinforcing that releasing blame is not a one-time event, but a practice. Like watering a plant, it is returned to again and again. Habitual paths in the brain will try to reroute thoughts back to blame because familiar patterns feel safe even when painful. Yet each conscious breath is a new fork in the road, and the listener can choose the softer path. Notice, the voice says, how life keeps offering second chances to think kindly. When the inner critic appears, it can be greeted with curiosity. Thank you for trying to protect me. I choose another way. A smile may rise as this conversation takes shape. Over time, even the critic softens, relieved to release its old duty. The guide reminds that awareness grows stronger each time blame is met with understanding rather than resistance. Progress is measured not in perfection, but in moments of gentleness that arrive. More often, stay a little longer and leave a trail of peace behind. Be patient, the voice whispers, for seeds sprout in quiet soil before breaking ground. Listeners are encouraged to acknowledge any small easing they feel right now. Maybe the breath is longer, the heartbeat steadier. These changes matter. They show that the body and mind are allies in healing. The guide closes this part of the journey by inviting one simple affirmation spoken aloud or inwardly. I am learning to treat myself with loving respect. A pause follows for the words to settle. The breath moves freely, and with it, hope takes root. No conclusion is offered yet. The journey continues, and kindness leads the way. The path toward gentleness continues now, and it begins with the softest act of all, awareness. When self-blame has been a frequent visitor in the mind, it can be difficult to notice when it arrives. Often it slips in quietly, disguised as responsibility, or even as a desire to do better. But blame that lingers becomes a tightness, a squeeze around the heart. It demands perfection while withholding peace. The invitation now is to pause and simply notice, not to fix, not to fight, but to see. With one hand placed gently over the heart, listeners are encouraged to breathe deeply and say inwardly, I am willing to see myself with new eyes today. The body may feel uncertain at first, unfamiliar with kindness that asks for nothing in return, but awareness itself is a powerful step. It creates space, and in that space, something new can grow. The voice guides with tenderness. Let your thoughts pass through like birds flying across the sky. You don't need to catch them, just notice their wings. There's no punishment for past moments of harshness, only recognition. Perhaps the inner voice has said, you should have known better. Perhaps it replayed old stories where worth was tied to performance. Yet here, those words lose their grip. With eyes softly closed, listeners are asked to recall one moment, not to relive, but to view from a safe distance, a moment where blame took root. As it arises, the body is invited to remain calm, to breathe slowly, and to say, that was then, this is now. I am safe to grow beyond that moment. And truly, this is what awareness does. It shows that who you were is not who you must remain. It reveals that you are not the mistake. You are the one who lived through it and learned. This is a radical shift, a gentle one, and it begins with observing without judgment the patterns that no longer serve. As awareness settles in, the voice offers loving affirmations like petals in the breeze. I forgive myself for not knowing what I didn't know before I learned it. Each moment is a chance to choose again. I am open to healing thoughts. These are not slogans to be forced, but soft companions for the journey. The listener is guided to choose one affirmation, to whisper it like a secret kindness throughout the day, while brushing teeth, while making tea, while looking into the mirror. These small repetitions carry great power, not because they are loud, but because they are true. A person does not become whole through shame. They become whole through love, through the quiet act of saying, yes, I am willing to grow. Now a mirror becomes the next guide. The listener is gently encouraged to find a quiet moment, perhaps later today, or just now, and stand before a mirror, not to inspect or criticize, but to meet, to look softly into their own eyes and acknowledge the one who has tried so hard, the one who has endured. You may feel resistance, the voice says warmly. That's all right. Resistance is only a sign that something meaningful is happening. A gentle prompt follows. Speak these words aloud, slowly and sincerely. I see the pain I have carried, and I choose to offer myself peace. The mirror holds the gaze without judgment. It reflects not only the features of the face, but the strength behind the eyes. A person may feel tears or silence or even laughter. All are welcome. This is not about performance. It is about presence. The voice reminds, You are not standing here to fix yourself. You are standing here to greet yourself with truth. Another phrase is offered. Even when I blame myself, I was doing my best to survive. Listeners are asked to repeat this gently, to place a hand on the heart once more and whisper, "Thank you for holding on." The heart does not demand a grand apology. It only wants honesty and kindness. After the mirror moment, the guide suggests journaling, writing freely for a few minutes. No edits, just flow. Begin with the sentence, "If I let go of blame, I imagine," and let the rest unfold naturally. This practice does not seek perfection. It seeks release. Even a few written words can unclog old emotions and make space for new insight. As the journal closes, a new chapter begins within. The voice speaks softly again, this time about planting. "The mind is a garden," it says, "and every thought is a seed." And when blame dominates, the garden becomes choked with vines of self-criticism. But now a clearing is made. New seeds are chosen, thoughts of respect, thoughts of care, thoughts that hold space for growth. The listener is invited to name one belief they wish to plant. Perhaps it is, "I am worthy of joy," or "I trust myself more each day," or even, "I can begin again without needing to be perfect." These are not demands. They are invitations to bloom. The imagery continues, warm and grounding. Before seeds bloom, the voice explains, they rest in the dark. They do not question their worthiness. They trust the light will find them. So too, healing takes time. Thoughts take root slowly. The listener is encouraged to nurture these new seeds daily. Speak them aloud. Write them gently. Repeat them in moments of stillness. Let them become as natural as breath. And when old weeds of blame return, the voice offers reassurance. You don't need to panic. Just notice. You can gently pull that thought out and return to your seed. Habits can be created with love, not force. The guide shares a simple daily shift. Upon waking, place both hands on the belly, take one deep breath, and say, "I nourish myself with kind thoughts today." This tiny moment sets the tone for the hours ahead. Another habit is offered for moments of doubt. Pause. Press 2 fingers over the heart and whisper, "I am enough for this moment." These gestures may feel small, but they ripple deeply. With each repetition, the soil becomes richer. The roots of self-love deepen. There is no rush to bloom. Even the tallest trees begin as humble seeds. What matters is the willingness to tend to the inner world with care. The guide's voice grows softer, more rooted and calm. What you feed with attention grows stronger. Let your attention rest on thoughts that heal. One last phrase is offered for this moment of planting. I water my heart with peace, and I trust the process of growth. A pause follows, spacious and serene. The journey continues, but something inside already feels different, lighter, more open. The soil of the mind feels tended, the roots of new belief reaching quietly toward light. And so the listener rests for now, not in conclusion, but in the warm unfolding of becoming. The voice returns like a gentle breeze, soft and certain. Let us speak now to the garden of your heart. You've planted new seeds, thoughts of kindness, trust, and peace. But for anything to grow, it must be watered. With this, the tone settles into a rhythm, a cadence of nourishment. It is time to speak to the self, not with harsh commands, but with healing affirmations, not as a task, but as a gift. I am growing stronger with each kind thought. the voice says, and then invites the listener to repeat it inwardly or aloud if the heart desires. I release what no longer serves me. Pause. Breathe. I give myself permission to feel joy. Each phrase is simple, and that simplicity is its power. These words are not meant to push away difficult feelings. They are meant to sit beside them like gentle companions. Just as a flower needs both sunshine and rain, the soul needs both presence and patience. The voice continues, you may speak these affirmations while walking, while stretching, while washing your hands. Speak them when the old voices try to return, not to fight them, but to remind yourself of what is true now. Slowly, a rhythm develops. The listener is invited to listen not only to the words, but to the way the body responds. A quiet loosening in the chest, a longer breath. These signs mean the inner garden is being tended. The affirmations do not require perfection. They only require presence. One thought at a time, one breath at a time. The guide offers one more phrase for this moment. Every act of care I give myself waters the seeds of my becoming. The words are left to rest, like dewdrops on petals, soaking in. And now the journey turns toward the gentle tools that can help make these shifts part of daily life. Sometimes, the voice says with warmth, what we need most is a reminder, not a big change, just a simple remembering of our own value. 3 practices are gently laid before the listener like soft cloth, tools of integration, each one small, accessible, and powerful. The first is a gratitude journal, not long entries or perfect grammar, just 1 or 2 sentences a day. Today, I am grateful for my breath. Today, I notice light coming through the window. Gratitude does not erase hardship. It simply builds a soft nest in the heart where healing can rest. The guide encourages, before bed, write one thing that brought a smile, or even one thing that helped you breathe a little easier. Over time, these small reflections become a sacred collection of hope. The second practice is a body scan, done just before sleep. The listener is invited to lie down, place hands over the belly or heart, and slowly bring attention to each part of the body. My feet carried me. Thank you. My hands helped me through the day. Thank you. This loving attention rewires old patterns of blame into a soft relationship with the body. The voice reminds, even if parts of your body ache or feel tired, they are listening. They are longing for your appreciation. The third practice is a morning intention. Upon waking, before touching the phone or stepping out of bed, speak one phrase that becomes a guidepost for the day. Today, I meet myself with love. Today, I allow myself to start again. These intentions are not rules. They are gentle signposts that remind the soul which way to walk. None of these practices are burdens. They are simply ways to remember, ways to come home to the self. As the guide says, you are not here to become someone else. You are here to return to your wholeness, one gentle act at a time. And now, the voice begins to close this sacred conversation with the same tenderness with which it began. Beloved soul, you have done something brave today. You have looked inward with honesty. You have laid down the weight of blame. And in its place, you have begun to plant a new garden within. There is no fanfare, no loud celebration, only a deep, quiet knowing that something important has shifted. The listener is reminded, healing is not about speed. It is about truth. Each time you speak kindly to yourself, you are healing. Each time you pause to breathe deeply, you are healing. Each time you choose peace over punishment, you are healing. The guide invites the listener to hold their own hand, literally or inwardly, and repeat these final words. I am growing in grace. I am learning to love myself. I am free to bloom. In this closing, there is no pressure to be finished. Growth is not a race. It is a rhythm, and you are exactly where you need to be. The past has served its purpose. The future is being shaped by your thoughts right now. And the present is your place of power. So let yourself bloom, not all at once, but gently, naturally. As the sun rises and the petals unfold, your inner garden grows more beautiful with every thought of love you give to yourself. And as always, you are deeply, profoundly loved, just as you are, always.